All right, welcome to the Muscle Maturity Podcast, episode 74. We are here with 1983 Mr. Olympia Samir Bannout and Marcus Guerrero, and I am John Hansen, Natural Mr. Olympia. So we are here for another week, guys, talking about the big topic this week is the California Pro, the Cal Pro, which took place last week. And Tonio Burton got his ticket punched to the Olympia, so he won the contest. Tonio was third the week before in New York, so he won this contest. Of course, Nick Walker and Martin Fitzwater were not in the show, so Tonio was the favorite. So, Samir, what do you think? Did you think Tonio deserved the win?
I'm happy he won. Also, I wasn't there, but I know he's really trying very hard. After winning in New York the year before, so now getting back
Yeah.
on the winning route. So good. I'm happy for him. It looks to me like the winner. Honestly, I would have gone to watch it live, but that contest happened to be about 15, 20 minutes from where I live. But
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah,
Okay.
muscle contest. I would have loved to go have gone, but anyway, I had other commitments, so I'm here on the West Coast. But I'm really happy for Tonio. He looks really good, and happy for the top three. Happy for all of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm sure you could elaborate more. Just looking at photo, I probably could give you a little bit of a uh, you know perspective from photography, but Tonio looks like he did a
Yeah.
great job.
Well, it looked like, I mean, last week we were kind of predicting it was going to be either Tonio or Beef Stew.
Yes,
Um, and it ended up not going out that way. Beef Stew actually ended up in fourth.
he needed to cut
So,
his hair.
Marcus, right?
These two, he looks good. I can tell he's really passionate. He's doing good. From my perspective, I heard somebody told him no, it's not going to affect his result. Maybe not, but honestly, he will leave a better impression when you have the balance from head to toe. I mean, come on, we're
Yeah,
bodybuilders.
I guess he sent
Don't be, you're not the Jackson 5 right now. You're a bodybuilder. You got to do. I like his passion and he's trying hard, and I like his body. He just you know he need to keep improving, and really, I would do anything to make myself look good from head to toe. Earlier, remember how we were
yeah,
like laughing a little bit about those guys who leave the face different, way different shade than the body, and that's wrong. I think that the
yeah.
long hair, the bushy long hair, in a way, it takes away some of his shoulders width. In I don't know. I mean, Marcus? What do you think about that?
I look. This is where I'm gonna stand on the opposite side of the fence. I know it's an unpopular opinion. I like the hair. I really do. I think it. I mean, I'm a big fan of wrestling, so I think it gives him his character. You know what I mean? I think it just he stands out. But I do get it as far as like from an aesthetic standpoint. Like it might take away from the
Marcus, I
physique,
didn't say I don't
but
like his
I like
hair.
it.
I think when it comes to bodybuilding, being judged, it takes away from that muscle. It does. But if I'm not saying it's an ugly hair. No, no, no. Don't misunderstand me. No, the hair looks good, but for
So
bodybuilding
maybe
purposes, it would serve you better when your hair is slightly, a little more trim. I don't know. What do you think, John?
do you think it's the sides? Like, do you think that's the thing? Is it should he take
Oh,
some off the sides or
maybe
something
put
and
a
make
hair
the high
gel
top?
and squeeze.
Slick it back.
With all the respect, honestly, I can tell you. So he's great. It just, it would serve him best to keep him slightly, maybe 10% shorter, maybe slick trimmed a little bit.
So just go watch like an Antonio Banderas movie and just
Like John has. Look at John's
and
hair.
just
Look at
Steven
John's hair.
Seagal.
I think that's about right.
Yeah.
Not like my.
Well, remember when Remember when Robbie lost the 77 Olympia and he had
He
that
looked
big
like
afro?
he looked
He
like
said,
Michael Jackson. His afro was like a huge hair.
yeah,
Honestly,
right,
he
right.
didn't look good. No, with that, he didn't. And you know me, I brag
Yeah, I
about
mean,
Robbie. I think Robbie is one of the all-time greats. And you know, anyhow, yeah. Now that you remind me
yeah,
of it, actually, it was even bigger than that. It was bigger than that one.
yeah. Go to that picture on the. Let me see if I can find the 77. I think that second row there, Scott. That
Yeah,
one,
about
yeah.
that time. Yeah, you're right. I remember.
I don't. That wasn't the Olympia, but that was
Jeez.
from 77.
Yeah, I see his hair once was so bushy. Oh, right there,
Yeah.
right there. That the arrow shot. Um, the bow, the second
Oh
row,
yeah.
the third. No, I don't know
Third
if
picture in
that's
second row.
no.
Yeah.
Uh, I remember what you're talking about, John.
Well, if you go to the top there, Scott. Right there. I think on the bottom there, where he's doing the archer pose.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
right. Yeah, that one. That was from 77, I think. Yeah, that's 77, I think, or maybe
No, there's
78.
one above it to the right. There's the upper body. That's upper body. Look how big and long his hair. Yeah, right here,
Oh yeah,
right
yeah,
here.
right
You
there.
see? Now look at the one on the left, and he's
Yeah,
like 20 years older. His hair, he looks better with his trimmer hair.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think it takes
yeah.
away from the overall look of the body, and so
Yeah, we were talking about, the guys with the faces too, Samir. I mean, you remember Zane when he competed, everything was perfect. The trunks were perfect, the tan was perfect, the hair was
that's the
perfect.
whole idea.
You don't want to take chances, right? You want to have everything as
That's the
perfect as you
whole
can.
idea, John. And this is why, like, I keep talking about it. I don't mind people to be 300 pounds, but if you want to be 300 pounds, looking like a big Ferrari, that's fine with me. But if you want to look like a Mack truck, it's not fine with me. It's just not, you're not gonna look good at that. You got to keep it pretty. I don't care if it's 300 pounds or 195 pounds. If it's pretty, you will appreciate it much more. You know.
So if we look at Stu's physique, what did he need to do to improve his physique? Did he need to come in harder, more cut?
I
Was he not
I
soft?
think
Was
he
he
needs
too?
to get a little bit harder. I would trim his hair about 20% less. I would adjust some
Hmm.
of his posing because even though he's posing great, and I think he's trying, but the posing, John, it's really whomever helping the guys imposing. In all honesty, they need to have capable coaching, and I keep dwelling on it, and I will never go back on my word. The idea of spreading too much and keeping the legs wide open. Even Nick Walker, who's recently gained me as a fan, he is also keeping that mistake. You open your legs wide, you're gonna throw off your harmony of the body. And I look at Stu is doing
Yeah,
that too, Jean. I mean, don't take my word for it. Just look at Arnold, look at Zane, look at Dickerson, at Boyko. We never did that, and it doesn't mean that we are perfect. It's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, the base is very important, and the idea of the judges allowing this to happen too, not smart. It's Jean. We always said it. People mock us bodybuilder by walking down like this. You could show your lat and keeping your arms down. I didn't need to go like this to show my lat. And I'm telling
right.
you guys, Marcus, when you lift your arm up like this, you lose the outer part of your triceps. You're lifting it like that. You're not showing it. And what are you going to do? You're making yourself look awkward. Seriously. No
Yeah.
disrespect,
Yeah,
but that's the way it's supposed to be. And that's how some of the judges should really make it a point of it that, hey, what's going on here? You don't need to be posing like doing a Harley pose. And some of those guys in the short, they do that. And from the back, Jean, the arms
Oh
like
yeah, they all do it
that.
from the back.
This is the
Yeah.
wrong school. And we are here talking, you and I together, we have what? 85 years of experience, maybe more.
100.
I mean, come on. You got to learn. You look at history and you learn from it. It doesn't mean that you can invent something new, but for God's sake, if you invent something new, make sure it's something beautiful, something different but nice. And I'm telling you, it's
Yeah.
not what they're doing is incorrect, my friend. So let's
Yeah, you tend to see it in men's
thank you.
physique a little bit too. Like they kind of have their arms
Oh,
really
men's
high
physique
up.
always do. I don't know why they do it, especially from the back. They
Yeah,
have their
it's
arms
Thank you,
completely
Marcus.
yeah,
Thank you for
horizontal.
yeah.
talking about that, Marcus. I know you're from the new school, but I can see that you're from the wise school. Wise, WISE. You know, and sometimes the legs, they wear a short and they put the legs like awkward. Even if you were in a short, you don't stand with, you know how Elvis used to dance and he make those weird moves? Some of them do that with the arm like that. I'm like, Tyler, please, Tyler, I love you. Do something about it.
They got the Woody stance.
I think Tyler,
Bowling
I
cowboy
think
stance.
Tyler will make good things on that. He will do his best because I know he's trying to do everything in a way where pleasing the masses and keeping the sport clean and more beautiful. And this is a good thing that
Yeah.
having Tyler on board. But we need somebody to keep
Yeah,
speaking.
I enjoy the videos he
We need to
does.
talk about it. Always address those kind of goofy stuff.
So the guy who took second in the show,
Hold on.
his name was
I'm
Emir.
sorry. Give me a second. Anyway, sorry, Jean.
The guy who was second was Emir. Pull up his name again, Scott, if you can. I think he's from Germany, and he only took, I believe, ninth at the New York Pro a week
Yeah.
earlier. So he moved all the way up to second. So he definitely dialed it in for this
Yeah,
one.
Mhm.
yeah, it's crazy to go from ninth to second. I think it was the conditioning. Honestly,
Yeah.
the conditioning was just
Give me a second. I have.
his glutes were just etched out like no other.
Excuse me, guys. 1 second.
Yeah, he was
Yeah, see, that's crazy.
super dialed in. God, look at his glutes.
Yeah, no, the glutes are just like that. That is what's in the lower back. You don't see anything in the lower
Right.
back. It's sometimes you see the little fold over, which I don't know if that's just like a film of water with a lot of people and things like that.
I
But
mean, you
that's
could see
just
the glute. It cuts.
crazy.
I don't know. The peaking, I think nowadays is like, I don't know. I don't know. Today I'm on on a different laptop, and I'm not really getting a clear view of everything. Sorry, guys. So,
He's got a really long torso.
oh
Short
yeah, I
legs,
can see
but
that. Excuse me, guys, for a second.
he definitely dialed it in for sure. Not the
Yeah.
greatest overall structure or shape, but I think just like you said, Marcus, I think he moved all the way up just because of his conditioning.
Yeah, and that's something I always find to be crazy because there's certain like athletes who I've seen at the top who like a Nathan Diasha, for example, he just kind of like the very high lats,
Yeah,
very long torso. So I'm personally not a fan of that shape, but so like if I look at like the third place guy, Christian Wolski, I prefer that physique way more than
Yeah.
Amir's. But I think that in this case, it was just, I mean, granted, in that pose, he actually looks really good. That he pulls that together nicely. But I feel like it was the conditioning that just
Mhm.
kind of took him to that next level.
Especially from the back.
Crazy to see what can
From the
happen.
back, it was
Yeah,
incredible.
the back is what kind of blew me away. Like that was just, and it's, I don't want to put too much attention on the glutes, but just the glutes where it just glutes, lower back, and just you see everything.
Yeah.
You see everything popping.
Yeah, even from that side chest pose, you can really see the glutes and the hamstring dying.
Mhm. Shoulder striated, like you see all the striations in the shoulder. Just
Yeah. Yeah, it looks
Chris Acetos is
anyway. Now I thought you're right. He's got a long torso, but overall quality is not too bad, Unless I'm not
right.
seeing it properly on this laptop.
No, he's definitely etched. Like it's it's like when I see the legs, and you can literally see like the cross fibers in the quads. Like it's on our
Yeah.
side, that right, I guess his left leg.
Yep.
Like
And then Christian Wolski, I believe, is from Poland. He was in third place, so he moved up from where was he in New York? Fifth or
I
sixth?
believe he was, I want to say fifth. He was fifth
Okay, so he moved up.
in New
He
York.
moved up one spot. He was fourth here, or I'm sorry, third. He was third here. So he did pretty good too. He kept his condition. He has really good condition too.
Yeah, and he has that shape. Like I just like his
Yeah,
shape as
I
far
do
as
too.
like when you
I think
compare
he's
that
got
we see
better
him in the
shape.
lineup.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a more preferred. I feel like when I always look at it from the eye of like if you're like a fan or a spectator of like the sport of bodybuilding, sometimes you tend to lean. I know we all have our biases, but like we tend to lean a certain way, and I just feel like so. Like for instance, Martin is somebody who like I think he's just like your bodybuilder's bodybuilder kind of thing. To where I feel like Christian has that same kind of physique to him. It's very pleasing to the bodybuilding
yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
I wish they had a live like a stream. That's the word. That's I wish they did because I feel like it's so hard to say with something. The pictures we can clearly see that they were conditioned, and I think that's one of the things about like Stu was that I want to say he got 27 points come prejudging his total, and then come finals he went down to like
Hmm.
19.
Hmm.
So I feel like, and you saw in some of like the top four in the call outs, they were switching everybody around. Like there was, you couldn't tell who was, aside from Tonio, kind of, you had no idea who was second, third, fourth, fifth come
Yeah.
finals.
Yeah,
I think
there
that was a
was no
great
live
thing.
stream of the event, and I heard Larry Pollock on RX Muscle. He was there, and he said, in a lot of the pictures, the guys don't look that good, but he said the top 10 were super shredded. He said they were all conditioned.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
he said it just doesn't come across in the pictures. But I think all the video that's online was just from people with their cell phones taking videos because there was no live stream of it.
Going back to the early 2000s bodybuilding right there.
Yeah.
Like, so, a question with the lighting, right? So for this show, because I was thinking about this. So like, do y'all, how it kind of has like that yellow down light? Like, do you all prefer that, or like, because I noticed it's much different from like the New York Pro and a couple of the most recent showings. So like, how do y'all feel about the lighting there compared?
Well, I think I think the best lighting is when they have the black background, which nobody really does anymore, except for Fuad did
Yeah.
it at his show in Detroit. But um, I don't know. I can't really tell with the lighting. It almost looks like I don't know where it was at. Do you know where this was at, Samir? Was it at a
I
hotel?
have no idea. Honestly, I didn't even follow up on that shows and so, but I did notice that these guys are of really good quality. I mean, the lighting is like one show is perfect, some other show is not as perfect, depending on who's doing that. And so, usually here in LA, when we had John Balick or Mike Neville, these guys, professional photographer, and they really adjust the lighting. Uh, I don't know. It vary from one show to another, but it's so important to have a perfect lighting up there, and without those busy background, John, we talked about earlier. So
Yeah, I think a lot of times when sometimes they'll do these shows at hotels and they'll just rent out like like a meeting room or
oh
what do you call it, like a big room, and they'll just set up chairs and it almost looks like that's what this is. Like they built the stage and then they just have the chairs in the audience and stuff. That's not the same as a
oh
theater.
yeah,
When you have a theater, it's
you
much
are
better
right.
lighting usually
You
because
are
at a
right, John,
theater.
because I have seen muscle contests before where it was done in a hotel, and yeah, it's not as equipped with the quality lighting and stuff when you have a special
Right.
auditorium and stuff like that. So the promoter works hard on
Yeah.
making the proper adjustment, but sometimes they don't hit the bullseyes. And so it's so important, especially after all the hard work, but the body needs to be seen as the best way possible. And so, but the good thing is everybody is under the same light, so that's wouldn't be unfair to everyone. So anyway,
Do you guys think Beef Stew could have taken second or first if he would have been in better shape and cut his hair?
honestly, I don't know what to say here because you know I'm not gonna say anything, oh, the hair or this, but I think beef stew need to be a little more shredded. I mean, Tonio looks harder, and I think Tonio, when he's in top condition, he looks, you can see his muscle is like gnarlier looking, harder looking, and so. But Stu has the body. He just needs to be a little bit more. I don't know. You call it dry or you know.
Yeah.
So he
I think he has a better structure than Tonio. He's wider. It looks like he's had more muscle from the back shots. In
no, he's got
particular.
a nice body. Of course, he have a
Yeah.
nice body, but some nowadays the judges are uh, focusing more on your quality, and even if your body is a little bit better. I mean, they didn't do that at the Mr. Olympia last year. I mean, Derek has the better body, of course, but Hardy was the drier, the harder guy, but they didn't do it that on that show. Uh,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how if it's the same judging panel on how the judges see this. I personally don't know. I would personally, I would judge my own brother or my son fairly. I wouldn't even put him ahead of anybody if he doesn't deserve to. So I, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very hard to say. It's very, very strange how some of the judges are. Even though I spent years dealing with judges, sometime I get the shit just at the end of the stick. Sometime I didn't. Anyhow,
Hmm.
but Stu, to get back to you, I think Stu have a winning body. Yes, he's even wider, and then maybe he has an advantage over uh, Tonio body wise, but Tonio is coming in more gnarly, and so you know I'm sure that they could exchange places in the future. Depends. So he need to make an effort to
Yeah.
get super hard and cut his hair a little bit. He'll probably get it. I keep
Hair looks
dwelling on
wild
the
there.
hair because I know it's going to help him. Even though one of the judges said no, I disagree.
Yeah. There's the. He sent a text to Tyler Mannion and
Oh,
he
that.
said, "Hey Tyler, serious question."
Hold on, guys. Oh my God, I'm using something here for my ear. Anyway, well, I mean, Tyler, Tyler is cool. He's like he doesn't want to let anyone down. But from my perspective, with all due respect, I mean, I've been in this game with like Tyler's grandpa. We've been there, done that. And yeah, I would say the hair does take away. Whether it's going to let a judge vote you less intentionally, I don't think so. But it would leave a better impression when you walk out with your wide shoulders and perfectly hair. Like you said, John, we need to be perfect from head to toe in every way. So, anyway,
Right.
that's another topic.
I like Tonio's response there in that post.
What do you
If you go
say?
back there real quick, Scott, the text message, he said, people who will critique you based off how they see themselves or what you're normal. Most bodybuilders have little to no hair. You know how many times I was told I won't get a look because my tattoos and dreads create your image, my dude. You are the brand. So I think that's a good point as far as like the tattoos, because I always thought that about certain people. I've even seen people I liked. I think it may have been Patrick Moore.
Hmm.
I think was getting one of his tattoos removed.
Oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah, a while back, I think I saw it start to. It feel. I think it was Patrick Moore. Hopefully, I'm not wrong, but
Yeah, he's got a
I've
few
seen
tattoos.
people get tattoos, yeah, like removed because it does take away from like what you can see and things like that. So I think that's just it's kind of my sentiment on it as far as like yeah, and I'm pretty sure he used to have a tattoo on his arm of like a dog or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we've seen things like that take place. So I think it's also important to be like a human in the ends, but as far as judging criteria, I mean, I guess it helps seeing, and that's I think one of the cool things about Tyler Mannion coming out and making these videos and being more of like a presence in the sport is
Yeah.
we get a little, we get to see some of like how the judges and how everything works, because I know a lot of times we'll see these shows and we walk off of questions that are like oftentimes unanswered. So to see some of them answered are pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I do feel like the hair thing is it's just a funny topic, honestly. I love it's seeing this being talked across different platforms is pretty
Well,
funny.
you don't remember this, Marcus, but back in the day, like tattoos were really frowned upon. If a bodybuilder had even like one tattoo, they were worried they were going to get marked down. So, I mean, there was a couple guys that had tattoos, right? Samir, like Bill Pearl had one, Ron Tufel had one, I think Ed Corney had one, but Barry
Dorian
DeMay,
had the biggest tattoo of all of them. He had that huge one.
yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, like
most
back in the 70s and 80s, not many guys had them.
I don't. I think these guys do the tattoo before they become bodybuilding champion. I mean, I, it wasn't the reason why I didn't put any tattoo. You know what? I'm an artist. This is where I do my artwork right here. I don't need to do it on my body, guys. But I mean, I respect these people that like to have tattoo on their body. But honestly, when it comes to bodybuilding, you're gonna end up covering it, and it takes away. You know, it's like the
Yeah.
movie. What do you call it? Robert De Niro, Cape Fear. When they were looking at him, he said, "I don't know whether to look at him or read him." He had like all these tattoos everywhere. But that's different. Oh my lord, guys!
All right. Well, let's go to another topic. In the last month now, there's been quite a few bodybuilders that have been tearing muscles or tearing tendons. Flex Lewis, I guess, tore his tricep. It was some kind of freak accident. He was holding the bathroom door closed, and somebody kicked it, and he tore his tricep.
Wow.
Jeremy Buendia he tore his Achilles tendon, and then I guess he just like a
How?
month
How
later
did he
fell off
tore
a
it?
scooter.
Could you tell me?
I don't know, Scott. Do you have that story? I don't know if Scott's got the story or not.
Uh,
And then Brandon Harding, I guess he tore something as well. So we've had like just in the last month, three guys tear tendons or muscles.
I Well,
Tendons, I
John,
guess.
I don't know. These things weren't common in my days. Back in the days, I mean, look at Arnold or whatever. All the champion. I seldom heard of anybody have injury. I remember Vince Taylor. He ripped up his biceps and he went to reattach it. But I mean, I mean, like Jeremy's, what he had Achilles torn and Flex Lewis' arm just
Yeah.
if it happened during training, then it would be different. But if it happened in an accident, I mean, it could happen to anyone. But I will definitely. I was very cautious when I'm training. If I felt like something a little bit awkward, I pulled out away and I didn't even finish my workout because, and
Right.
then one thing I could advise people: increase your chelated mineral, especially calcium and magnesium. I would actually make sure I will not take any anti-inflammatory, like even ibuprofen. Any painkiller would mess you up big time if you go to the gym and train with intensity because it masks the pain and then you end up ripping things apart. It's a big no-no to take any anti-inflammatory or painkiller prior to training, at least hours before. You don't need to do that at all. That's too bad. I don't know if I can blame that on the gear or the modern days, what these guys doing. I'm not gonna say anything unless I'm 100% sure. But that's too bad that these injuries becoming common.
So you don't think it has anything to do with the training, Samir? Like because we work out, you don't think our tendons are more susceptible to
You know,
tearing?
I tore my triceps, but not in training. I fell off a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So I
Right, I
have
remember that.
zero
Yeah.
injury while I'm training. Zero. Ever. A couple of times I feel like, oh, something gonna go wrong. Right away I stop my workout, go home, take care of it, and come back to the gym. And you have to be careful, and you have to also be in this driver's seat. If you feel something awkward, don't force yourself. That's why you don't want to be a kamikaze when you train. You train hard, but you train smart. And most time you don't hurt yourself because the weight is heavy. you do some sloppy type of training, or if you are under the influence, yes, you could. And so it's very hard to pinpoint it. But if you want to feel more safer, keep your chelated mineral intake up, and go by how you feel. Back to the good old advice that was given to me by Bill Pearl. He used to say, "Listen, son, listen to your body." I mean, I was being spotted by a guy, a Swedish friend of mine. I was doing bench press. He spotted me the wrong way, and John, I felt something awkward to my chest. Guess what? Boom, let everything go. I went home, took care of it, and at the next workout, I did a lighter workout, and I treated it, and I was
Mm-hmm.
okay. Never have any issue tearing bicep or chest or anything. Thank God for that. So you got to be smart and be careful.
Why do you like chelated minerals
Well,
over
I
regular
mean,
minerals?
because chelated is an amino acid coated. It's for ultimate absorption. You take the real amino acid sometimes because there's a lot of bull BS out there, John. You take just any mineral and you
Yeah.
poop it out. But when it's chelated, this is what makes it absorb, and this is what you want: absorption, the ultimate
Okay.
absorption. So, yes.
Okay.
What do you say about that,
I just
John?
took
Back to
notes. I'm
you
not
at the
lying.
same question, and to you, Marcus. What do you guys say about that?
Yeah, I tore my bicep like 24 years ago, back in
Wow, I didn't
2000.
know.
But it was an accident at work. It wasn't
Oh,
the
okay.
gym.
Well,
So
that's different.
I've never, I've strained stuff or hurt, maybe strained my back or thing, but I've never torn anything at the
Did you?
gym. So I think you're
Did
right,
you?
Samir. When you're training at the gym, you can warm up, you can control it, um, and then I'm the same way. If I feel anything, if I feel any little, I'm done. That's it. I
Smart.
don't push
That's
anymore.
exactly how I
Yeah.
am. You go by how you feel. But Marcus told me
Hmm.
earlier that his knees from playing basketball.
Yeah, my accident was definitely. I mean, that's obviously a trend. It seems like as far as all these accidents are kind of happening
Yeah.
outside of the gym. And yeah, mine was I came up off a
Oh,
rebound, landed on somebody the first time
oof.
it happened, and just fractured my femur, tore my
You
ACL,
Oh,
fractured your
damn.
my
femur too?
meniscus, PCL
How long
on
ago
top
Wow.
was
of it.
that?
Yeah, yeah. It was like the first time I ever. It was I want to say
Oh, wow.
2016, and ever since then I've had. So I obliterated my knee. I was in a wheelchair for like 6 months. Like it was pretty bad. And the donor graft, like they didn't know until they went into my knee. They had no idea how bad it was, and then they realized they're not going to be able to take from like my quad or my hamstring, and they were going to have to use like a donor graft. And so like the surgery that was looking like it was only going to be like 45 minutes to an hour ended up
Wow.
taking 3 hours, and that graft retore. So, and I've had 3 knee surgeries
Wow.
already. So I'm just looking at it like, yeah, so I have to really be safe when it comes to lifting in my leg. And I notice that sometimes when I do like stiff legged RDLs, I tend to feel a little bit of something
Mm.
in my hamstring. And I've never gotten anything taken out of my hamstring, no fibers or anything, but it's just one of those, how you're saying, one of those cues of, okay, let me back off. Let me
Hmm.
not do whatever. But I'm not gonna lie, I think I've been a little sloppy when it
You
comes to
have?
the gym. I've taken care of my leg just out of fear, but I've just, my AC joint, I've separated that, and it's just the mobility is not as good. So I think it's moments like these, like I said, I'm literally taking notes on like the calcium, magnesium, no
No,
ibuprofen, because yes,
ever. No
I've been the idiot
ibuprofen
who's
and
taken
going to the
ibuprofen
gym.
before.
Anything, not even Tylenol. I mean, as
Yeah,
acetaminophen or Tylenol, which is ibuprofen, either one. I mean, never take that before the workout ever. If you want,
yeah,
you will
and I've
make it
definitely done all
much
that.
worse. Trust me. I would just keep taking more enzyme, like a bromelain, and there is a product out there. I'm an old school lab guys, but I'm telling you, there is a product with enzyme that actually enhances mobility in the connective tissue and joint. It's called Wubenzym. Basically, bromelain, stuff like bromelain, L-cysteine, chelated mineral will strengthen these joints and the connective tissues. And being smart, don't you should be aware. And like certain basketball, man, is a badass game on the knees and the Achilles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about Patrick Moore. He tore his Achilles playing
wow.
basketball.
Well, that's
Oh,
why
damn.
now I
A
got
lot.
down on my son Jesse, because in the past 6 months I saw Jesse putting on some size, but I didn't like the size. Jesse used to be shredded, and so lately
Yeah.
he's been eating probably a little bit more. I said, "No chicken fillet, Jesse. Don't go eat that." And so I said, "Jesse, what the hell's going on? What the hell's going on?" When you put on unnecessary weight, it's going to be much more health for your joint, especially Achilles in your knee. It's like you fly
Yeah.
in, you're going up, you're jumping up to dunk or to rebound with 20 more pounds on your body, unnecessary weight.
Yep.
So you need to stay
Yep.
lean. You need to stay lean. Just muscle weight. You must.
Yeah.
And that's actually what happened to me. It was my
You
first
were
like
bulked
full
up.
bulk like I ever
Well,
did. I bulked up like maybe 25 pounds, 30 pounds. Like I was always like no more than 180, and I was like 211, 215 at the time. And it was a while since I played basketball like as much as I was, and because I was putting the gym first, went and
I
played
suspected
basketball, and
that. That's
then
why I was asking you
literally
if you were like bulked
obliterated.
up. I
Yep.
mean, Jesse usually
Yep.
weigh about 175, but I swear he's shredded. I mean, shredded. Now, my son Sergio, who play basketball, he's like I said, 6'2". And Sergio, he's been training with weight. He stayed in shape, but Jesse has been messing up lately. Now he's getting back on track. You don't need to be bulked up. You don't want to gain bad weight. So no
Yeah.
chicken
Yeah.
fillet. You just got to eat at home. Right, John?
I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna go back and clip that part right there. My girlfriend, she literally is into my fiance. She eats
No
Chick-fil-A all
Chick-fil-A.
the
Hey,
time,
John, tell him.
and she goes,
Yeah, you know what? My son Jesse was into Chick-fil-A, and then Jen sent me a list of ingredients that they add into the chicken fillet. I'm like, well, what the fuck is going? I said right away. I copy and paste to Jesse. I said, "This is what you eating, buddy. Don't eat this crap." I'm telling you, anything that has over two proper ingredients, don't touch it, man. I mean, the food out there is ridiculous, John. I mean, come on. We didn't have any of this crap back in the days. Now it's a jungle. I swear, it's the jungle. And people go, it's all about
You think that
taste.
has?
I mean,
You
hey,
think that
hey,
has?
don't take me wrong. If you are on the highway somewhere and you have been starving, you want to eat, and you do this once a month, you're okay.
Right.
Once a month, but making a habit of eating this kind of food, it's a no-no. It's like shooting yourself in the foot.
Right.
Right, John? See?
Right.
Just John, we can eat the apple pie at Universal Studio to load up. Oh my God, this
Samir's never gonna let
crap
me
is
forget
bothering me.
apple pie.
Anyway,
Well, we got a question, or no, not a question. Jay Cutler was on a podcast last week,
yeah,
and he was talking about the first time he went to
yeah.
Gold's Gym, and so we thought we would bring that up on this topic too. So talk to us, Samir, about the first time you went to Gold's Gym, because I think you were living in Michigan, right? When you moved from
Yes.
Lebanon, and then from Michigan. You moved over to the
Yes.
Mecca, the Gold's Gym, and that was in the late '70s. So talk to us about the first time you went into Gold's, what your
Oh
experience was like.
wow. I mean, I would rewind, replay. I couldn't wait to arrive. I was driving from Michigan all the way back, to the West Coast. Actually, I was in St. Louis, Missouri. Remember, John? I was
Yeah, yeah.
with what's his name? George
George,
George
George
Turner.
Turner's.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
But anyway, I was just looking forward to be in Southern California, and man, the first thing I did, I told my girlfriend, "What? So where you going?" I said, "To the gym right away." I mean, you walk into Gold Gym, I felt like a kid in a candy store for me. because I was so eager. I wanted to be there. I want to be among these guys. I know that was my mission. I recall like Tom Platz and I, we were like standing outside our Mentos gym in Detroit, and Tom says, "Man, I can't wait. I want to be. I want to go to California, work with Weeder." I mean,
Did you guys go to at the same time, Samir? You
Tom
and
came
Tom?
in like 1 month and a half before me, and then
Okay, because you were both
yeah,
in
we were
Detroit,
both
right?
Mr. Michigan. Tom won Michigan 76. I won it in 78.
Okay,
And so we were
okay,
both. It seems like Tom and I had similar dream. It was to be with Joe Weider. And honestly,
right.
I was lucky enough when I met Joe Weider backstage, and he asked Bill Reynolds to interview me. And then Joe says, "When you come to California, Samir," no, I better not talk like Joe. uh, "Samir, come to California," and like, I love Joe. May he rest in peace. No, but honestly, John, when I came into Gold and I walked inside, it was for me like, what? It's like Mr. Olympia going on. Like, you know how you pump backstage and see all these guys. It was
Right.
everyone was there. Everyone. I mean, if you want me to name them, I'm gonna name them. I mean, you
Yeah,
got
no.
Ed Corney, rest in peace, Danny Padilla, Roger Callard, Platts, uh, what's his name? Ken Keene was also from Michigan. Platts was training there.
Right.
Pete Gromkowski, Ken Waller, Andreas Collin. Uh, at the time, the gym was just Gold Gym. Just was bought by Pete Gromkowski and you tell me, you're the historian. What's his name?
Tim
No,
Kimber,
Tim, and then what's his? Oh,
Ed
yeah,
Connors.
Ed Connor, and in fact, I was training there and I loved it there. And when they moved to the new location, I was approached and they asked me, "Samir, we want to move to the Gold Gym, the existing Gold Gym right now." And there was an offer to put 25 grand and own 11%. And I swear to God, on the soul of my father and my mother, and I want to do it. I said, "I'll do it." I had the money in the bank, but the bank was closed. I said, next day I was going to Japan. But that's another story. How good it was for me to be at Gold Gym. It was just like a kid in the candy store, really, because you want to see those guys that you admired all these years, and I felt you rub shoulder with these guys, it could only be more beneficial for me. And what's funny, I
Yeah.
spent the first day with Tom Platz, right? I spent the first day with Tom Platz, whom I supposed to compete with Tom Platz in Acapulco. And at the time, I couldn't go to
Good for you.
Acapulco due to not applying for visa on time. And
Right.
so, anyhow, I stayed with Tom one day, and then Danny Padilla said, "Come stay with me. I have an extra room." So I went and stayed with with Danny Padilla for 1 month. And in fact, that was the property of Joe Weider where Dan Padilla was staying. And so it's like a dream. It's like a dream, how Tom and I would think about going to work for Weider. And here we are driving weekly on Ventura Highway to go see Joe Weider, which is, I took a friend of mine not long ago to show that building. And I was just like, it's like, I almost want to cry that I was going there twice a week, sometime more. I would get a call from Joe, "Samir, come on over, let's have lunch and bring some training clothes." So we go out jogging. I mean, I was like lucky to be in that environment and thing that I want. I mean, look, when you have Arnold Zane, Joe Gold, all these people around you, and all along, you've been watching and hearing about these people, looking at the magazine for decades. You know what I mean? Not decade. I mean, it was just like, uh, I started looking at the Muscle and Fitness magazine, Mr. America magazine back then. It was a muscle and fitness at the time. It was Muscle Builder Power. And I picked up the first issue,
Okay.
1972, John. and I forgot about the movie The Good and the Bad and the Ugly because I didn't have enough money to do both. So I bought that magazine. I told my brother, I said, "Don't worry, you can cry. I don't know movie right now when I get that magazine." It's crazy, And so here you are, back coming to Gold Gym, where all the photography, where Joe was shooting all the star, and it's funny. My friend Art Zeller became one of my best friends. Uh, it's like a dream. It's like a dream is like becoming real right before your eyes.
So when you got there, Samir, was it the one on? Because the original Golds was that small one that was in
Yeah,
pumping iron, and that was in Venice. But then it moved to Santa Monica, right? When Ken Sprague was there.
exactly. Ken Sprague owned that. He moved from that gym to the one on by Third Street Promenade. You've been in it, John, right?
Yeah, that was Santa Monica,
Did you
right?
go to that gym, John?
No, I never went to that
Yeah,
one. No.
it's right. It's like 100 yards from the Third Street Promenade, and it's really popular area right now. And that building owned by Beretta. Remember Beretta? What's his name? What's
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Robert
Robert
Blake.
Blake.
Robert
Robert.
Blake owned that building, and I mean, to me, if I rewind, replay how much time, and this is where I made the most. I didn't mention Mike and Ray Menser and Casey Viator, whom I trained with
Yeah,
and really explored the different kind of training. Serge Nobret came from France to train. I trained with Serge Nobret for over a month and probably month and a half, and so doing that prep, I experienced the keto type of dieting with Serge, and I dropped down from, I think I was from 207, 208 to 185, and I won the overall and the best in the world contest. And remember,
yeah.
Greg DeFeo
79.
was there, and several good bodybuilders, and so that's how I start, you know, doing things and winning. And then right after that, I won the world championship in 17. And all that happened from the very first year when I came to Southern California. And yeah, there's a million
Okay.
stories to tell. Million. I can't tell you just one.
I'm looking on my phone for a picture from the first time I went to Golds.
Have you been to,
So that's
have
fun.
you visited Gold Gym Marcus here?
No, no, never. I mean, I want to, and I know it's probably a little bit different now, of course, but I definitely want to. The only experience I've ever had like that was, I guess, the now pros gym, so like the Powerhouse in
Mm-hmm.
Columbus, Ohio, around I think it was a 2019 Arnold, I want to say, and that was kind of a very like just euphoric feeling. Like it felt really good to be like, I know like Luke Sando was there, James Hollingshead, Brandon Curry. Like, so for my little, Rolly Winkler, which that's where I really got to get a good idea of how he was in person, and just he's been like one of the nicest bodybuilders I've ever come across. It was just very just a great aura to him. Um, so, and then I think there was just everybody in there was just working hard, and of course it was right around the
Well,
Columbus, Ohio, so there was all the
you are
pros in there,
invited. We're going to ask Old
and it
School
was
so you can come down and hang out and train with me. And we'll do some content for Old School and for
oh yeah,
whomever. We just have fun. Maybe Jean can come down because Jean came down and we
Yeah.
trained, Jean and I, at the New Gold, and it was fun. It's still the atmosphere not as good because we don't have as many superstars right now. I mean, when I came in,
Right.
honestly, it was like Mr. Olympia every day. It was like I am going to attend the Mr. Olympia every single day. And I swear to God, I'm not exaggerating. On one day, you could see Mike and Ray, Grimkowski, Waller, Corny, Platts. I mean, every day, Grant, I mean, to me, it was like heaven, It was heaven.
Hey, Samir, how big was that? How big was the gym in Santa Monica? That
I
wasn't
don't
that
think it
big,
was
right?
anything more than maybe 12,000 square feet, John. I wouldn't say more. It's not like the
Wow.
powerhouse where you train now. The powerhouse is what, 60,000 square feet? Oh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that gym right now, the new gold is at least around probably 50. I want to say maybe in the between 50 and 60,000 square feet. And then we have outdoor now too.
Yeah.
You, you haven't seen gold since the last time you came and trained with me, Jean. When were
Was
you?
that 2018?
Oh,
Right? That was
well, you were
2018.
here before COVID, remember?
Yeah.
And then when were you here last time when we went to Universal? And
Oh, that was 3 years ago, maybe.
2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah,
Was
that was
it
the last
before
time I was there.
COVID?
I think that was after
It
COVID.
was after COVID. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they started using the gym outdoor during COVID, and then they kept it. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you
Yeah.
need to come for another visit, John.
I know.
Come
It's
on,
been
we
a few
need to
years.
tell Old School. We need to have an Old School get together, like we used to do in the old days, and do some training stuff. And come on, we need all the Old Schoolers to get together again. So
Yeah, I'm vouching for a back day. That's what I want. I want a back day with Samir and
yeah,
John.
let's do it. Let's do it.
That would
Let's
be
do it.
me.
So we did last time. Right? We did back day.
Was it?
Yeah, but be good. Anytime you're ready to come, let me know, Marcus.
Oh no, definitely trust. I'm a bother you. I'm
No,
a bug you.
anytime.
Where do you live now, Marcus?
I live in the Virginia now, so like I constantly go back and forth between South Florida and here. Oh no, actually Central Florida now. I grew up in South Florida, so I always make that habit to say South Florida, but Virginia now. So it's nice though because I get to go back and forth, and I still get that good weather that because I grew up in Florida, so I always long for it. So, and my brother, he actually went to Cali and was just
What part of
had nothing.
what part of
Say it
Florida did
again.
you grow up in?
Broward County.
Okay.
So yeah, like the fort, like down South Florida. Like that was my home. You're in Tampa, right?
Tampa, yeah.
Tampa. Yeah, I like Tampa. Whenever I first visited like Tampa and Clearwater, I was just
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I like this. I like Central Florida. Don't get me wrong. And I don't know if I ever moved back down to Broward County. I think I had my fill of it when I was a kid, but at least I want to do like somewhere like Central Tampa or something like that.
Yeah.
How's the weather over there now? I know it's
It's
crazy,
nice right
isn't
now.
it?
Super
No,
hot.
right now the weather in LA is very
no.
good. Not that bad. Not that bad.
Yeah,
It's been in the 90s out here every day.
It's hot.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean Santa Monica, and really in Santa Monica when I lived there, I didn't need to use the AC. I didn't even need to use the heater. So the weather is very good. And back then my rent was very cheap. I used to pay $275 a month, including utilities, John.
275
$275
a month.
including right now that same place is probably renting for about $4,000.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I lived like only walking distance from the beach. I'm like 7 blocks away, and I could walk to World Gym in like 5 minutes. So yeah,
So when did World's Gym start?
well, World Gym. I mean, when I came to Southern California, the World Gym that was on Main Street was already there. It did exist because I think Joe Gold missed the business.
They
He
started
started World Gym. You been to World Gym, John?
No, I was never there. I wish I could
Yeah.
have been there. I
Well,
never
Joe
started.
Gold, he started. He misses the business, and he missed being active, and so he started World Gym, and that World Gym was very small. I don't think it was anything more than 8,000 square feet. It was a balcony, but it was nice. Only Arnold, Zane, Franco. I mean, Joe Gold didn't do it for money at the time. He didn't care about making millions of dollars. But then when
Yeah.
they started to do franchise, uh, you know, and then he moved to another location, it was about 200 yard or 300 yard away from Gold Gym, and it was beautiful. Unfortunately, this building got knocked down about 3 months ago, and I think that building was owned by Arnold. anyway, there's a big story behind it where Joe Gold actually ended up not bad now. It's okay. I was just talking to him. Uh, yeah, I think Joe Gold and Arnold have some kind of deal going regarding the build ownership and stuff. So I won't talk much about that one part, but yeah. So now there's no World Gym uh, that exists in that area. I remember I talked Powerhouse, like Norm and Will Davish, to open up a Powerhouse gym. It was like they opened that gym across the street from the Firehouse, John. Remember the Firehouse where we
Right,
ate?
I remember. Yeah,
That
remember that.
gym, but
Yeah,
it was kind of strange looking because they like anyway, they did it for a few years. It was good. It was good. And so, and remember Robert Kennedy opened up a big shop right next to
yeah,
Shotzi, Arnold restaurant at the time. He used to own Shotzi,
yeah,
where we
yeah,
had cigar
yeah,
night. Everybody showed up on cigar night, and Arnold did a
yeah,
good things with that, and we loved it. Every end of a month, you come and eat. You pay $100. You have a complete meal with cigar and champagne and wine or whatever you want to drink. Every end of the
yeah,
month, you feel like from Sylvester Stallone to, at the time, you name it, Johnny Carson, whomever, lots of celebrity come in on that day. It was so much fun. That was the golden era, Jean. Believe me, these days it's not going to come back, unfortunately.
no, I know.
It's a great time.
Yeah, I think
Doesn't sound like
the first time I
it.
went to Gold's, I think was 1990. A friend of mine from the gym, he was going out there, and his sister lived out there, so he was going to stay with her. So he said I could go out there for like a
Mm.
week, and I went out there for a week, and I just slept on her couch,
It,
and then we would go. We went to Gold's every day, and we went to Venice Beach. We went down to Muscle Beach, and then went to the firehouse, and yeah. But I had a picture with you and Boyer
I
Co.
remember
Samir.
that. I remember that. It's all your
Yeah,
fault,
that's why I
Jean.
was looking on my
Jean,
phone
it's
for the last 10
all
minutes.
it's
I
all
couldn't
your
find it.
fault. You could have contacted me and stayed with me. I have always
Yeah.
have an additional, like extra room, and I lived in the marina and I lived in Santa Monica.
Well, I didn't even know you back then.
Well, yeah, I knew you when we. I remember. I think I have that photo with you and Boyer Cole. Still have
Yeah.
that? Post it.
Yeah, yeah. I'll see if I can send
I
it to Scott. Maybe you
I
can put it
remember.
into the
I
final
remember
product.
that. Oh my God, time flies.
So I went and saw the 1990 Ironman Pro that Sean Ray
Who
won.
was that?
That was in
Who was that?
February.
Sean Ray. Who is he? Oh my God.
I think I was there in February.
Yeah.
So I saw that contest, and that was an awesome show. That was the first Ironman. Sean Ray
Mhm.
won it. Gary Stridham was in it. Mike Ashley, Vince Comerford, and then everybody was there, like at the show. I saw Mike Quinn in the
Yeah.
lobby, and then the next day I went to Gold's and I was working out, and Mike Ashley was doing a photo shoot, and Sandy Rydell was doing a photo shoot, and I think Boyer was
Yeah,
dating
he
her at
was.
the time.
Sandra Rinaldi. What's her
And then I
name?
took a picture with
What's,
Sandy
yeah, yes,
Rydell,
yes. I remember her. Yeah.
and then I took a picture with you and Boyer. So I got to find that picture.
My God, time flies. Oh my God. Shoot.
And then I remember my friend stayed out there like a month, and I only stayed out there a week. And I remember he was driving me back to the airport, and I was I was so depressed because I'm looking at all the palm trees. It's like 80 degrees, and I'm going back to Chicago in February.
You should have
It
done
was
what
freezing.
Tom Platz and I did. You came down and you go drive with Joe Weider on Ventura Highway in the sunshine. To me, it was the most fun, Jean, is driving to Joe's offices. Honestly, it was like at least twice a week. And honestly, there's
Hmm.
not one human being I know is as passionate as Joe Weider. You know
Right.
what I mean? You go into that office, it looked like J. Paul Getty Museum.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What Joe Weider had, everything he had there, may he rest in peace, a 24K quality. The bronze I
Yeah.
mean, you go there and you feel like you want to live there. You don't want to get out. So
I wonder what happened to all those. I wonder what happened to all those things there, like the paintings and everything, and the statues that he had there. I wonder
they
where
should
that's
have
all at.
turned it into a museum, John. Honestly,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Jen and I, we went down and to visit about that was like a month ago, approximately a month and a half ago, and I'm like, oh, I was talking, and I'm like remembering everything from even my parking spot where Joe Weider used to park, where I would go with my workout clothes, and Joe says, "Let's go out for a run, some air. Let's go out running first. Go run and then go eat at Hungry Tiger or somewhere." Yeah, you could see that Joe was so passionate. I swear, there will never be another Joe Weider, man. Nobody would have that taste of Joe Weider. Serious.
Right,
And
right.
people think me and Joe clash. No, 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 man. Honest to God, Joe treated me like his son. But, there was some jealous and envious people. They didn't want to see Samir become like, anyhow. But anyway, and Betty's still around. May God bless her.
Yeah,
And Betty is
yeah.
probably hitting over 95 right now.
Wow, is she really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And so she's not far. She live about probably I would say 10 miles from where I live right now, Sean. Maybe
Hmm.
maybe about
Wow,
seven,
really?
8 miles from
Okay.
Universal Studio in the Beverly Hills area. So
Hmm. Wow.
yes, you know what, John was sad. All these guys that were around you, from Art Zeller to Joe Gold to Zabo to Ed Giuliani, and they're like all fading away. I mean, like the clock
Yeah,
clicking, and it's just for
yeah.
me remembering all these things, and to me it's like sometimes you get emotional. You know, when something like that happened, I always hear from Lou Ferrigno. I get a call from Lou, and like
Hmm.
you know, it's amazing. And I'm like, I talk to Lou quite often, and I recall when I was in Verona, I was a beginner. Nobody knew who I was, and I took a photo with Louis.
Universe.
And
Yeah,
I mean, to me, it's like a dream. I swear. If I tell you how thing happened, and John, I'm like you. I love my game. It's not like I just want to train. I want to know the history of bodybuilding. I was in England. I went and made sure I visited the offices of Oscar Heidenstam, who's the founder of NABA.
hmm,
And when I was here, I went made sure I visited Jean Grimick, and I got to know him. I sat with
yeah,
him, and he said, "Son, I like the way you do things. You're gonna be unbelievable." And he was so positive to me and with me. He was
hmm,
so it inspired me. I love the way he did bodybuilding. He was unbeatable, by the way, Jean Grimick. And I
yeah.
told him, I said, "John, I'm gonna compete at professional Mr. World in Worcester." And he said, "I promise I'm going to make my best to come down. I want to come down and watch you." And I was there. I have a photo with him, and I won that show. You remember
Yeah.
all these
Did he?
things, John, and you remember how these people, I met Steve Reeves, John Grimmick, they're no longer with us. And all
Hmm.
these guys are like disappeared right before I met John. Reg Park. Did you meet Reg?
Hmm. Yes, I met
Reg
Reg
is
before. Yeah.
unbelievable. Nice guy. Now I'm a friend with his son, John John. So, I mean,
Hmm.
the history of bodybuilding is incredible. But
Yeah.
a lot of people sometimes gossip and say blah blah blah. They didn't know Joe Weider on on one. Joe really cared. He loved the sport. He cared. If Joe was around right now, he probably would be the first guy to complain about some of those posing styles. I remember when I was doing posing, Jean, I posed to Joe, and he used to correct me. I mean, Joe wasn't
Hmm.
Mr. Universe, Mr. Olympia, but he had the vision. And
Yeah.
they're like, "Samir, take your shirt off," and the officer go and check me out. "Oh, turn your neck this way. Open your blade, Samir." I'm like, Joe was passionate. It's not just money. He
Right.
loved bodybuilding. And
Yeah.
like for example, I know Jim Manion is passionate. Has been there. Jimmy was a bodybuilder himself, and he competed. He was in great shape. So,
Yeah.
I just love people who's been there, done that, and that really contributed in a huge way to bodybuilding.
Yeah. Yeah.
C'est la vie.
All right, guys. Yeah, c'est la vie. I mean, it is sad that they're all leaving us. Like I said,
Well,
Samir. I mean, all those guys you mentioned, they all passed away.
nobody's gonna be here forever. I'm telling you this right now. We could practice all the life extension stuff. We could eat good, stay away from the chicken fillet, and eat and eat healthy, stay healthy, keep that cortisol away. You will extend your life for a few more years, Yeah, well, good
Right.
chatting with you, my brother. It's really a pleasure as always. I'm
All right. Well, next.
sorry about some technicality that's going on here, but next time it won't be. We'll work on it to get better next time anyway. So,
So next weekend, I think we got the Toronto Pro, so that'll be a big one. There's a lot of big names going in that. Quinton's going in it, so
well,
we'll see
Mike,
what he
before
looks
we
like.
go, what happened to Quinton? I think I heard that he changed coaching, his coach.
Yeah, he was with Matt
Yeah.
Jansen, and he felt like he went in the contest too small. That he didn't. He built a lot of size in the off season because I think he was training with him the last couple of years, and or at least a year and a half, and he really built up a lot of size. And I thought he was going to win. I mean, looking at his gym pictures,
Yeah.
but he came in too small, so he was really upset with that. So yeah, he got rid of Matt Jansen. So I guess he's going in this show by himself. He's not. He doesn't have a coach.
There's always conflict of interest when the coach have two athletes doing one show, and some of the athletes would think, "Oh, he's going to favor him over me. He's not going to help me as much as he's helping so and so." That's kind of it plays with their psyche a little bit, right, Marcus? When you have a coach and you have another guy that look just like you, kind of, and he's coaching both of you. I mean, this is what happened with Hadi Chopin. Hani has three guys. I mean, he had Bumstead and he have Derek, and then Hadi Chopin at the same time. So, but the good thing, two of them won, and really it was contested. I mean, Hadi could have probably won too. So, but it's a tough on the coach and on the athlete start thinking or doubting. And so I can understand where he come from, Quinton, regarding changing coach. But I think it's a mistake leaving Matt Jansen because I like what Matt Jansen's doing. Anyway, we'll leave it at that.
Sometimes the coach doesn't know your body the first time, so I don't know.
You need to be with a coach that learn. They start analyzing everything about you, and they know how you will respond. And I think Quinton, I don't know if he made the right decision, but I know he's going somewhere, and he's great. He's gonna have a great future regardless.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Well, we'll have the list for next week when we do our show next week, so we'll be able to preview that show and look at who's going in it, and then we can talk more about it next week.
All
right, guys. Well, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Good talking to you.